Remember that. And number 3 is with a $2.5 million upfront. That's what we put on the ballot. To retain option 3, we put $2.5 million. That's what we put on the
We
ballot.
put 750. All of them except 50.
But the total amount that was on the ballot was 250, not 750. They may add up to 750,000, but the ballot question was 250,000, which is not the
2.5 million.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's not what we're hearing from people that think we need to win. They're thinking we need the lowest. So you have to put this in the context of the lowest is going to provide us with the greatest opportunity.
Missing-
I was gonna say that.
I'm not following what you're saying, because any one of these scenarios will work for 1 year. Any of them, because all we need to do is implement the first year of a reduction plan into the 750 grand minimum. If it doesn't pass the second year, then it's more in any case. But some of these are more permanent than others, that's true, but they just get to the same place. So it looks like everybody here is not quite sure where we're at. And my suggestion is, I have some little pieces of paper. I think I would suggest I give you each one, and you put a number on it. Fold it up, we'll throw it in a thing, and just count them and see if we have any consensus on any of these plans. At least so we can talk about the ones that seem to have the most weight with everybody. Is that agreeable? Because I don't think anybody's going to raise their hand on each one.
You want to read just there was one person on the committee that's stuck on a flight that's probably landing in 3 minutes. But do we want to just read Patty's what her conclusion is, so everyone just knows what that is? You know?
Can I have Jennifer repeat my voice in the call?
Sure. What happened? You lose your voice?
I'm sick, so I won't.
It is very likely that I will be extremely late or unable to attend the meeting at Giles this evening due to flight delays. If I do get home by 6, I will hurry over to Giles, as I did commit to this. If I am late but you need feedback, here are my thoughts based on what I've heard at the super meeting. People believe the residents do not want to spend more than $400 annually on a tax increase. The average assessed home value in Norridge is at or about $250,000 to $265,000 mark. Dr. Schilling provided options with the estimated tax increase value next to each. Based on the presentation and the discussion that followed, my comments are as follows. Propose 2 ballot questions, one for building, one for operational. The building question should be a minimal amount. I believe Dr. Schilling's presentation that was $91 annually on a $250,000 home. Dr. O'Malley, please confirm. The operational question should be for an additional 1.5, which was $292 annually according to Dr. Schilling's slide. The total of the 2 amounts above equals $383 annually. If I had the $91 figure wrong, that number increased. If both questions are approved by voters, cuts will still need to be made in the 2017-18 school year in order to balance the budget. My suggestion is to go to grade centers, which will save approximately $540,000 annually, and go to build a gap. There will be a one-time building charge of $60,000 to accommodate grade centers according to the architect firm. But the long-term savings outweighs the one-time building fee, and most importantly, programs can be preserved. If the questions are not approved by the next ballot, I think the district must seek option 5 in its entirety as presented by Dr. Schilling. There's really no other choice. Option 5 provides $948,000 in savings annually while preserving some of the signature programs. One question I have is that if the district goes to grade center, will the industrial arts program be preserved? Or will it be eliminated to insurance reasons and building expenses that are necessary? I know there were expenses needed at the Giles, but if the junior high is housed at Lee, are those expenses necessary there? Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we have to make a statement, and I'm gonna read it, we're gonna read it because it's prepared for us. Okay, as As representatives of the Norridge Education Association of Teachers, we recognize that due to the gravity of the financial status of our district, programs and teaching positions will need to be eliminated for the 2017-18 school year. Consequently, we recognize that there will be fewer placements for our members, and thus we will be losing individuals.
While we acknowledge that a reduction in force is necessary at this time in order for the district to combat this crisis, we as a group will not be participating in a vote to determine which positions will be eliminated. In good consciousness, we cannot take a position on which jobs or programs should be eliminated, making choices that will obviously hurt our members on both professional and personal levels.
We believe that such a decision should be made by the Board of Education, the administration, and members of the community. As an association, we will continue to support each other and work for the betterment of each and every child in Norridge School District 80, regardless of what conditions may come. We thank you for respecting our perspective, and we welcome the opportunity to move forward in a manner which proves positive for all.
That's fine. Robert's Rule of Order basically say extensions go in the majority.
That's correct.
So that's how we'll conduct this.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So,
I have a question. If we decide to go to scenario 5, can we talk about adding something back into that at some point, since there is actually more money in that area?
you're getting ahead of ourselves, because what we need to do is just pick what the alternative's gonna be to be able to convey to taxpayers first, and then you can have a discussion between, if you wanna have a further discussion, to clarify what that means before, people vote, because it's still 3 months out, so we still have a little time. How you fine tune that, I think that's perfectly acceptable, but the first question is, if somebody says, well, what's gonna happen if it doesn't pass? The answer is what? X, Y, Z, So I would, you can just take a second and just put one number on these, so we can see if you're anywhere close, and then we can talk about, if it's split, we need to have a discussion.
I think that's what Circle was trying to say, Michelle. That right
I think it
now.
was what you were trying
And I
to
think
say.
we
It was.
said that at the previous
Yeah.
meeting, because we said, if we went with scenario, and I know everybody's an issue, it's difficult because it's a financial decision, we have programs up there. And so, this is a financial decision, we're making a financial decision. The community has basically said, make a financial decision. And so, with that being said, I think Circle at our last meeting said, we may be able to have the opportunity to add back into that athletics. Because athletics on the other sheet was 129, if you add athletics, it's about 87. Okay? We may be able to add office staff, that was another thing that was brought up. And office staff may include an AP, assistant principal, we need that, assuming that we need that. So, I think we have latitude to do exactly that. We have latitude. That was my, am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
Okay.
I'll collect.
We folded up 110 times.
I made them so little and stuff because nobody has to worry about anonymity, because I can't tell one from the other.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to share. That's my pen.
Okay, here, you guys aren't.
You tonight?
So I'll just read them because nobody knows who's whose, and that way I have one for 4. I have another one for 4. I have one for 5. Five. Some of you guys did a great job. You must be good at paper airplanes. Let's see. 5. Oh. 5. This one says 4 or 5. Well, we pick one or the other, so I don't want to do with it, and I have one for number one. I have 3 abstentions, so. That's where we are. Is that enough? 1 for 1?
I'm sorry, I'm saying, what is scenario number 1? Just,
One is keeping the band, right? If I remember correctly. I can go back.
That's
here.
correct. That's right.
Right there, band, state. Eliminates everything but that.
be a 1 and 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 2.5 for 4, and 4.5 for 5.
And 3 abstentions.
What are the next steps?
You feel that's enough? Something.
Can we discuss the difference between
Absolutely.
4 and 5?
Sure.
Absolutely.
As
That's-
you alluded to earlier, there's a number of reasons why the referendum failed the first time. I mean,
Correct.
stick your hand in the pot, you got a reason, and it's somebody's. And you use the word distractions from the other group, which I think is a very good
It's
word.
a nice word.
It's a good word to be able to use. And at this point, this community has never been receptive to grade centers. It will be a distraction. It will be, as much as I can see the writing on the wall, I mean, if I, it makes way more fiscal sense, it's a distraction in this community. They're gonna come out and they're gonna vote no for it, not because they want us to have the money, but because they're voting against grade centers. And I think that if choosing 4, I mean, none of these are ideal, none of these are great, none of these are, but in choosing 4, it gives us the opportunity to speak with the community some more, get them more on board with what the savings, what we would be able to put back, what we would be able to retain next year. It would take the distraction away from it. It would be bottom basic, this is what we need, this is what we need.
I agree, there'll be distractions, but if the community votes no, it's gonna default back to number 5, because that's the biggest,
Absolutely.
and so that's where I think that's where the, you know, to me, it's just that, it came across loud and clear. You know, I don't like scenario number 5, well, that's the one I chose, and the main reason is because it gives us the minimum amount of tax increase, and it preserves as much as possible in the classroom. It gives us a little bit more that we could put in reserves, or even add back if we wanted to add a program back or 2. And that's where it gives us the biggest flexibility. It's the toughest decision for families. I agree. It means if you live behind the mall, you're gonna walk to Lee, and if you live by the other side of Norridge, it means you're walking to Giles, or your parents are gonna drop you off. Well, 99% of parents. But I'm just visualizing it's gonna be a very difficult decision. But you know, as we're sitting here trying to make the best fiscal possible decision based on the other committee that's telling us that ask for the minimum, and I want to advocate for the kids to save as much as possible. And so that's my balance on being or what I'm trying to weigh is how do I save the most programs, because the kids, you know, because there's a lot that they get out of band, there's a lot they get out of dance club, you know, they do. And how do we preserve that and be the most fiscally responsible to our taxpayers? And it's hard. I agree, but
I need to clarify something here. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves because we're only talking about a plan for both of you, because I think that goes into effect if it doesn't pass. You're not making a decision tonight, nor should you be, for what's going to happen a year or 2 from now if it passes, because we have time to look at that in depth and so forth. So if you choose 5, you're not choosing 5 if it passes, you're only choosing 5 if it doesn't pass.